Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to iCup TV. You'll be your epic and awesome caster Fitz here. Now this replay comes to us from, I believe, the 1st of May. Which is actually, we're actually getting to the same month I'm actually casting from. Yay for me. But anyway, so from May 1st, and it's coming from iCup Clan League Season 20. Division B1 or B2 between Black Dragons and Overdosed. And this is going to be Series number 2, game number 1 between the Yellow Protoss Black Dragons JM versus Overdose's ActionT, who's going to be the blue Terran spawning at the bottom right on Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit, a very well, pretty much it's been played on a ton in the last 3 years of the Brood War community, and for good reason. It's fairly balanced. I just hate the map because I've seen it so many times. Now, what the map is, you have a fairly decent main, you have a standard ramp coming up right there, nothing really out of the ordinary. Your natural is fairly easy to secure, not a huge ramp, not a huge choke to hold off, and what you oftentimes see, at least in TVP, a lot of the time, is Terran will go sit off of 2 base till they get their mech up semi big, because Terran will go mech in this matchup most of the time, and they'll sit out here because you can't really go into a mech army that's stationary. Like that, you just don't go in that way. Which pretty means their natural is pretty much okay because you can put up missile turrets all over here for the Terran, at least what you'll probably see. So it will stop any kind of Reaver harass or what have you, because the shuttle will get instantly blown up by turrets. And then it'll pretty much leave the third because you can go up from here, go up this ramp. But the problem is you would have to like drop on here and go up, but you just die from mech. So you can't really, this area is pretty much useless to get up anyway, and so this pretty much you guarantee your third. All you have to do is wall this area off, and it looks like Terran will know is going to be scouting the right location, and it looks like he's going blind expand. Ooh, JM's getting pretty greedy this game actually. Now, I'll be interested if it pays off. It will be good. Now, what might happen is the thing that I'm afraid of. Terran can go this timing push where they get up a quick factory, which it looks like is exactly what's going to happen. So what will happen is Marine production will happen up to about 5 Marines, 4 to 6 Marines. I've seen it up to 6. I've seen as low as 4. I've seen up to 6 of what I've seen of this push. And then you push with unsiegeable tanks, because the tanks can outrange the goons, and you can even bring 1 or 2 SCVs to help try to repair the tank there. And I'm afraid that might ultimately end up denying this expansion, or at least deny or allow for enough time for ActionT, excuse me, to go take up a sentence. And there goes down the factory. That's what I'm guessing coming out of ActionT here. I mean, I don't know the exact build, but that's pretty much what the build would be called. Cybercore is coming up, and Zealot's actually coming out first, probably for just defensive purposes. I don't see JM wanting to be aggressive right now. There's no point to it. Would just be too risky. Not to mention that the Terran completely is walled off, like pretty bad, and we're gonna be seeing the machine shop coming down right now, and that machine shop's just going to. Oh my goodness gracious! I hate my computer. I need to restart my computer after this cast, but the fact of the matter is, oh my goodness gracious, I'm still lagging. 1 second. All right, so maybe it's a game or something, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go restart my computer now, and then I'll just be right back. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be right back. All right, guys, I think I fixed the issue now. I was recording at 60 FPS, which never is supposed to work. Because Brood War doesn't run at that much, and it just makes the whole thing really quirky. But anyway, getting back into this game, JM is going to be researching that range on the Dragoons, because that's what cool kids do. And nothing really out of the ordinary. But are we seeing that push right now? Nope. I take that. Well, my prediction was wrong, but he's going. Yeah, he was getting actually speed first. Speed vulture opening you rarely see again in ZVP. This is more of a quirky build. I don't even know what's the point of the continued. Actually, I'm gonna take it back. No, he is. It's a little bit more delayed. It's a little bit more all in. This looks more all in because of double well, first off, he's continuing to produce Marines. He's also doing double production of tanks here. And I don't know what's the idea of Vulture speed. I'll be interested in what that's actually for. And he's getting Spider Mine. So this is probably gonna be followed up with Vultures. This just right how Action might want to combat this. Just a bit more different and more variating. Yeah, he's going all in. There was no really question that it really wasn't. I mean, 4 SCVs is pretty bad. But if the Dragoons are able to do some damage, I mean, look how fast 2 tanks can take that down right there. And somehow, for whatever reason, JM was applying some aggression right there, which he may have not needed to do. I mean, actually, I mean, he was just putting out his army there. He probably didn't need all the Dragoons out there, but keeping that in mind, just putting that in perspective. Mines will be done, and Siege will be done, momentarily. Well, not, I mean, just about the 4th of the way done, but Siege mode does come up pretty quickly, keeping that in mind as well. But that's going to be 3 tanks versus, the Protoss cannot engage right now, especially with their Spider-Mines. But the problem is, the main issue right now, Spider-Mines is going to be going off in the main base right here, which is going to be such a nuisance to deal with. But now there's going to be Vultures attacking that mineral line over here, which is just such a nice little victory for Action right here. He's playing this so well right here. I like this push. It's a bit more different here, a little less, it's definitely more all-in, but if it doesn't work, I think, did he lose 1 tank? No, but Probes are going to be trying to target fire them, but SCVs are not repairing, but they really didn't do too much. 1 tank seems kind of low on HP. It might go down. It will. And that's going to hurt this push. Second tank will be going down here. And this push was actually able to get countered. Ooh, actually, that didn't really do that much. I think the problem with that engagement, Action really didn't have the tanks in the back where he really should have. He put him in a scenario where he didn't have siege mode done, and he kind of put himself like, okay, I'm going to put my little self in this little crevice here where Protoss can try to break through. He might have the mindset that I have enough tanks and the small choke's good. Not really. In that engagement, a small choke doesn't really matter because he's not having siege mode, and there isn't 40 tanks that are shelling, which would make it nearly impossible to engage. But yeah, but we will be seeing Action putting down that that base on the natural expansion right there, and I like that. I like that a lot. Because it's an expansion and what have you. It's an expansion, but it looks like we're seeing 3 gates that probably should be settled. No, we're going to be seeing Robo Facility if my computer didn't freeze. My computer didn't freeze. There we go. My computer didn't. My computer's like this is like slightly better because it fixes itself now, but still not to the point where it's like super great. So maybe what I'll do is we're back to normal. I do apologize for this. My computer is like sometimes I want to work, sometimes I don't. Perhaps it's temperamental sometimes, but you will be putting down the 3rd factory at this point in time. That Terran Command Center will also be coming down. Nothing out of the ordinary. Protoss is probably wanting to look to expand right now because... Oh my goodness. I'm going to try this one more time. Sorry, but I hope you guys are still getting the same analysis that I normally get. I'm still trying to tweak as best I can, but I'm trying to get as many VODs out tonight as possible, even though some of them are pretty god-awful. But the Vultures are going to be coming around onto the 3rd down to the, what would be the main base, or to the natural expansion. Will they be doing enough? Oh, they did find a sneaky spot here. That will be 5 Vultures going into the main base right here. Dragoons are completely out of position right here. Oh, we'll be putting down those Spider-Man right there, but will they be detected? No, they will not. Oh, but foddered. At least only foddered 1 Dragoon, and he's going to have really a lot of fun with these Vultures on these probes right here, getting behind the mineral line here, just being really annoying, forcing out some observers now, but these Vultures will eventually get cleaned up. But at a moderate cost. I mean, not being super probably being cost effective to the amount of minerals that he invested into that on probe kills a little bit, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, but nevertheless, nice little run by from coming out of Action here. Now Action is going down. It's looking to be going off a 3-base Terran look right now. Just getting there's a lot of mech right now, and it looks like he's going to be starting to turtle in, getting up these. Yeah, he looks like he's got a turtle, and like I was saying, he's going to be sitting back on the natural till he feels comfortable to push out here. Right now, he would not want that to happen. There's just too many Dragoons to deal with that, and so you really need to wait and do that. Now, this is another time where the Protest takes a third, and he has enough minerals for it. The JM doesn't have enough minerals for it, unless he's going to be going some kind of crazy tech path. And keeping that in mind, but he will be trying to get a couple more Vultures in here. But Vultures versus Dragoons is not really the best idea, and they both did get sniped off right over there. So not bad at all either way. And JM is just going to be sitting back. Let's just make sure I'm getting these players right. Yeah, JM is just gonna be setting up a little bit of a contain right here. Eventually, we'll have to see. I mean, we will be seeing the Vultures. Look like going to be making a loop around, but it looks like the Dragoons are going to be trying to cut them off right now, or not. He was thinking about it, but I think Vultures are just too fast. Oh my goodness! Putting down more Spider Mines over there as well. Being a really big nuisance right there, and both players are being kind of pass off to base. In the longer turns, is able to deal with this. Keep in mind, in TVP, you want to be Protoss. Being a Protoss wants to be ahead in one base at least. So the longer, I mean, Terran went kind of moderately all in. It was a very heavy push coming out of the Terran, and what was happening is slightly at a disadvantage because that push didn't really do too much, as JM only lost a couple of Dragoons in the here mix. They kind of traded armies, but Terran was only off of one base while JM was off of two base. And I mean, sure, I mean, Action has done some kind of Vulture harass. I don't think it's really equaled out quite yet. But the problem is, the longer Terran's sitting off this 2 base is just the longer he's catching up. Not in the economic sense, but oh, he's gonna fodder some of those Vultures there. That's not something he doesn't want to have happen here. But like I was saying, you're gonna see that pylon wall there. You're gonna stop getting kind of Vulture run by here as well. And because Terran is going to optimally be off of 2 base. That's what they want to be at. That's where they're going. That's where this build thrives at if the Protoss does not expand. It's looking like he's going to want to expand here because of the pylon wall, or the incomplete pylon wall now. And oh my goodness, these Vultures are being so annoying right here. Putting down Spider Mines everywhere, but finally getting cleaned up, I believe. Finally getting cleaned up. But we'll have to bring over Spider Mine over there. But, Terran, it's going to be moderately difficult. I mean, Protoss should have an upgrade advantage. Do we have an armory up yet? We have +1, about 2/3 of the way done. So we might be seeing a push with +1 coming out, but we're seeing 98 supply to the 85. So Protoss is ahead. He's off of probably at least 6 gateways. He's off of 4 actually. Not getting that optimal gateway count as he's just putting down that third next. It's a little bit more delayed than I like it. Normally, I believe it's probably around 10 or 11 minutes to put that expansion down. We're around 12 minutes in game right now, and continuing to produce more zealots and etc. Getting that +1 armor and getting. By the time this engagement happens, Protoss will have an upgrade advantage here, and it looks like it's just going to be trying to set up the best contain as possible here. Might be even trying to come from 2 flanking areas right here. Probably could try to push down here and coming from the main ramp and down here. Which, given this area, I mean, tanks are going to be really hard to come at, but that's probably the best optimal way to bring down a ground army, unless we'd be seeing Stargate. Stargate should be coming up shortly because of Arbiter tech. It's been quite some time since I've seen it actually TVP on Fighting Spirit, but yeah, we should be seeing. This is kind of an awkward situation where Protoss is actually yet to go take Stargate tech. Stargate tech normally comes up by now, and we're 13 minutes in, but he's getting shuttle. Interesting enough, he might be going for a 4 zealot drop, which is probably what he's going to be doing, as he's not going to probably invest too much in it, as there is no support bait to get that shuttle speed upgrade. I don't really see a reason to do that. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to drop zealots in here, because, I mean, like, the positioning of the buildings is, like, ridiculous here. But, now, where'd that shuttle go? Where'd you shuttle go? Where'd you go, shuttle? Where did you go? Oh, yeah. No, 3 zealots, actually. Oh, he's going to actually drop them on the main army here, but the Argolath will get sniped off, though. He will be trying to do that, Storm. And I think there's going to be too much coming out of JM here. Will he be able to break this? I think he has more than enough to break this. He has an upgrade advantage. +1 armor has not yet kicked in. It is +1 to +1. When is the +1 armor going to start kicking in right now? And it looks like this is going to be more than enough. Keep in mind, Protoss can outproduce the Terran right here. And Terran was never able to secure that third base if they would really like to be able to do that. Tanks are getting completely decimated here, and I think ActionT's just going to be awaiting a GG very, very shortly here, as this has done so much. It's done so much damage. And you know, like I was saying in the early game though, where trading armies wasn't the biggest deal, here where tanks are really not expendable units, vultures are, but tanks aren't. So I mean, tanks you can only produce 2 tanks at once here. You can only produce 2 tanks, and interesting enough, that just doesn't happen. But anyway, we will be seeing that eBay finally going down. If that was ever like an issue right here. And Protoss is going to be off of 3, 6 gate, should be off a lot more as his macro is slipping. You go off of 6 gate, if you're off a 2 base or 3 base, do the math, probably get up to 10 gate, probably 10 or 8 gate, probably around there, maybe even 9 gate, probably could do that. Or tech up to Stargate tech, but I don't think we're seeing that unless that is Stargate tech coming up right now. It is, so we're going to be seeing Arbiter tech just as a safety if that was going to happen. Apparently, saving the CC is the most important thing right now, which I agree with. I'm going to be trying to repair that as best as ability here. We'll be CG on the high ground. Might be the best idea for JM to push back here. He just doesn't want to. It's just annoying to engage right now, but actually he was able to clean up both those things fairly efficiently right here, and not bad at all right here. I'm going to be able to not do terribly, and ooh, might be able to get a lot of SCV kills. Once these SCVs go down, I'd expect something, probably like a GG, something like that, or a rage quit. I don't really know, because the SCVs, as long as they're alive, they're giving him still an economic edge-ish. But I mean, I'm not quite sure if Action actually knows that Protoss is off of 3 base now. Probably being off of 4th base fairly shortly. But I mean, we're seeing +1/1. Where are we going to be seeing dual more upgrades coming up? Yes, we are, and I'm loving this about the Protoss. Terran is getting up +1 armor, but you know, this is what I've always complained about, and this is what you're kind of seeing, a different kind of style where Protoss has the upgrade edge right now, which, you know, maybe for the engagement where +1 armor wasn't like such a big deal, but now with that +1 armor, that's just going to help, you know, that much more, just taking 1 less damage. Upgrades do play a big role, and the 4th is coming up in the top left-hand area of Fighting Spirit, and we'll be continuing to bring over reinforcements. 96 supply to 81. So somehow this supplies is somewhat even out right now. About 10 supply deficit coming out of Action right here. But keep in mind that Natural is no longer mining. Protoss is getting up their 4th, and this is just not looking so good for Terran's favor right here. And especially with the addition of Arbiter Tech coming up with double Arbiter Tech, it's gonna be really hard. Here we go. The engagement's gonna be happening. There's the GG back by Action, and pretty interesting game nevertheless. Anyway, and guys, I do apologize for the constant going in and out, but very interesting game. So for Fitz tip of the game here, we saw, well, first off, we saw JM win this game. So we'll see if we'll have to see if Action will be able to come back and make this a best of 3, or make a game 3 happen. If not, we'll go on to game number 2 and see if JM wins. Either one is very awesome. But so for Fitz of the game and like my opinion on the game, I'm gonna try to add that as well. I'm gonna try to make this section probably as short as possible. I think what Action did, and you guys can feel free to disagree with me for sure. Action, he went a build where he kind of went all in, and then he kind of struggled to kind of come back. Kind of, that's what I would probably be the overall thing I thought. Otherwise, if he went standard, or I'm not quite sure if he could do this, but again, if I don't know how all in was. It was definitely more heavy. It was definitely more of a timing push, something to do a good amount of damage, but really didn't do any kind of damage with that timing push or what have you. That push that he was well thought of with 3 tanks and what have you. There just wasn't enough stuff to help defend the tanks. But getting past that, the push didn't do too much, so he was left behind. He did vulture us, but in my belief, that really didn't do too much. It just may have gotten like maybe 5 or 6 probe kills, but he was still off of 2 base. He's able to, pretty much do that within a minute and a half. He'd be fine. He didn't really lose that much mining time. But, okay, so getting past that, so he took his expand. Good stuff. There was a time where Protoss was off a 2 base, when he probably should be taking his 3rd, as the Terran was taking no signs of aggression. And I was thinking maybe JM should have seen that coming. But, hey, that's okay. JM still played it very, very efficiently here. And with what I always believe Terran should go for that 3rd base, even though the position spawn locations would probably make the third more vulnerable, he needs to take a third. He needs to do that. It's really not that hard for a Terran to get that third up. It allows him to get to a 200 army much more faster. And the thing is, now, my opinion, and that's pretty much what I'd say, you need to get your third base up, and that's the only way you probably could have stayed in this game. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Now, for things I liked about coming out of JM was that he got those upgrades going. They were consistent. His tech was a little bit more delayed, probably due to those upgrades. His Stargate should either come up around 9 minutes 9:30 or around 12 minutes 12:30. But the Stargate probably came around 13-14 minutes. Not super delayed, but a little bit more delayed. Those Stasis POs probably could help with that later engagement to making a more cost-effective Protoss army. However, it was still fine anyway. In that regards, anyway, he did also take those expands fairly, more aggressively towards when he had the map control that he wanted, and etc. But I think he probably could have gotten away with it, as the Terran was being pretty idle in the mid stages of the early stages of the mid game. Now, the thing I want to point out, this pretty much concludes. But now, the one thing I want to point out though, is that I was looking at the production queue out of the Terran here, and if you're macro efficiently, this probably doesn't apply to you. But if you're not macroing efficiently, maybe it's not the worst thing to put down. Maybe 2 or 3 more. If you're a Terran player in TVP, if you're lower league, just as a substitute. I always say, you should always work on your skills anyway. But if you're having difficulty with it, a substitute, this would I think would work. Is that I saw 3 tanks for the 2 factories that have the machine shop on them. If he had machine shops on 2 or 3 more of them, that means he had 5 or 6 tanks coming out at once. Maybe he could keep that up for the entire game, but that means if his macro was slipping, if there was an engagement, if he had a 200 army, he would be able to do that pretty well. I mean, vultures are also important, but he would be able to get those tanks up that much more quicker. Which, in that regards, when they're on the high ground, would probably be more beneficial for action. But regardless, that was fun anyway. We'll be going to game number 2, guys. Thanks for watching iCup TV, and hopefully we fix this issue, as I don't think I'm having it anymore, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day, guys. Peace.